Alright, come on in, guys. You guys can come through the front here, kind of fill the space. This is our first stop, so we got to fit everybody in here. Alright, come on in, guys. We got plenty of space right down the middle here. Alright, cool. Do we have Matt back yet? Is that him back there? Awesome, awesome. We got everybody. Cool, cool. Alright, so everybody's here. If you guys want to look right above your heads here, you will see the formation that we are most known for here at Wind Cave, and that is the boxwork.
Wow.
So does somebody here want to tell me why they think they need boxwork, or what do you think it looks like to yourself here? Let's take a couple hands. What you got?
I think they made the boxworm for the pressure or the air in here.
Kind of. It was actually formed by water, but it first got its name when early explorers were coming through here. They saw this formation, and the square shape of it reminded them of their post office boxes back at home. But quite often, it does get compared to cardboard or peanut brittle, spider webs, honeycombs, nachos. I've heard all sorts of things. But the boxwork here you're looking at is actually much older than the cave itself. So a long time ago, before the cave was here, before the Black Hills were even here, the Midwest used to be a shallow ocean with a limestone floor. Then, during all that seismic activity of the creation of the Black Hills, this limestone floor started to crack. As these cracks were forming, water was shifting around, it deposited a mineral of calcite inside these cracks here, which solidified and created a boxwork. Only at this time, it was within the limestone, nowhere exposed quite yet. So, as the ocean continued to drain and recede, the water that went underground picked up carbon dioxide and created a compound called carbonic acid. This carbonic acid is what dissolved away the limestone, carving out the cave, the very cave patches and stuff that we are now walking through to this day. It could not, however, dissolve the boxwork itself. So all that it did was beat back the limestone enough to merely expose the boxwork from within the limestone. So to put it into simpler terms, imagine building a brick wall. But instead of using bricks, we use giant sugar cubes instead. So we get these sugar cubes down, then we put concrete between them as we would a normal wall and get our nice little wall built. Now that we're done, we just let the wall get rained on, pour water in it, pretty much let it dissolve away. All that's left behind would be that concrete outline, right? Pretty much that concrete outline represents the boxwork as opposed to the sugar, which was the limestone that used to be wrapped around it pretty much. And it is as brittle as it looks. I've been told it's as easy to break as a potato chip. So it's really fragile stuff up there. So after Tom and Jesse Bingham documented the cave in 1881, fast forward about 10 years to 1891. At this time, word was kind of going around about this cool hole in the ground. With air blowing out of it, eventually the government kind of got involved and ended up hiring the McDonald family to come out here on a mining claim. Pretty much saying that you guys can live on this land as long as you go into the cave and actually exploit it. Pretty much come down here to see if there's any gold or any minerals, any gems, anything that'd be worth any while down here. So 16-year-old Alvin Mcdonald came crawling through a tiny little natural entrance hole that I showed you guys earlier today with nothing but a candle and a ball of yarn to map his way. While down here, Alvin saw the boxwork and other cool formations and stuff, took pieces of them and brought them right back up to the surface to try and sell. So unfortunately for him, even though these formations are pretty cool and kind of rare, they are not worth that much money when it comes to any sort of market value. So Alvin thought to himself, if I can't take stuff out of the cave to make any money, then I can bring people into the cave to start making money. And then proceeded to start the very first tourism business here at Wind Cave. Any questions? A pretty popular one to do get is about wildlife or any animals in the cave. We do have bats in the cave. We have about 11 species of them. The odds of you seeing one today are actually pretty slim to none. However, they don't really like people. They kind of keep to themselves and their own little offshoots here and there. On the subject of bats, however, we do have white nose syndrome in the cave. If you don't know what white nose syndrome is or have heard of it but don't really know what it is, it's actually a fungus that grows on their faces, more specifically on their noses, and it makes them white. It's an irritant. It doesn't kill them directly. What it actually does, it just bothers them to the point that they wake up prematurely from hibernation, that then ultimately they die of starvation or dehydration because there are no resources available for them at the time that they wake up too early. Has about a 90% mortality rate for bats. It's kind of all over the U.S. right now, unfortunately. It's killing a lot of bats. So what we try to do to stop spread from us walking through a cave that has been, I guess, tested positive for it, so to speak, to be spread to a different area of bats where it might not be there yet, is on our way out of the elevators today. There's going to be a black disinfectant mat. You guys can walk on that, clean up your feet on your way out. Then you guys are good to go. But not yet though. We got a few more stops in Decay before we have to worry about that. So if you don't have any further questions, I'll just hit these lights again, make my way back up to the front, and then we'll get onward to our second stop here.